There's something I've been meaning to share with you. It's about this channel. If you only looked at the titles or thumbnails, you'd probably think American Together is a politics channel. Honestly, that would make sense. A lot of my episodes begin with Congress or Social Security or whatever happens to be filling our news feeds. But if you watched for very long, you've probably noticed something. They almost never end there. That's exactly how I hoped it would work. Because if politics isn't really the destination, then where have I been trying to take you? When I've taught over the years, I couldn't begin with what I wanted my students to know. I had to begin with what they already understood. It didn't matter if I was teaching children or adults, second grade or college level foreign language. Every teacher learns that pretty quickly. If you're teaching someone to say hello in another language, you don't start by writing unfamiliar words on the board. You smile, maybe give a little wave. You begin with something familiar, something they already care about and understand. That's how learning works. You don't start where you are, you start where they are. And somewhere along the way, I realized that wasn't just something I did in a classroom. It kind of became the way I approached people, my kids, my friends, conversations, and eventually this channel. One thing I've learned while making this channel is that people don't all enter the conversation through the same door. Some people are drawn in by politics, others by a personal story, still others by psychology or history or something happening in the news. And that's okay, because I don't really care which door someone walks through. I just hope they come inside. Politics just happens to be one of those familiar places. Almost everyone notices it because it's happening on a very public stage. Whether people enjoy it or hate it, whether they vote every election or avoid the news completely, it's one of the few places where the entire country can watch the same human interactions unfold in public. And for a lot of people, it's where they already believe the problem is. We may disagree about who's right, but we can usually agree on what we just watched happen. So that's where I begin. Not because politics is the whole story, but because it's familiar. It's something we can all see. That's how meaningful conversations usually begin. We start with something we can both already see and explore from there. If you've watched very long, you've probably noticed a pattern. We might start with Congress and somehow end up talking about assumptions, or maybe we begin with Social Security and end up talking about emotional reasoning. Once we even started with my son's wedding and ended up talking about different ways people learn to express respect. By the time we get to the end, we're usually talking about something completely different than where we started. Or at least it looks that way. I don't wander there by accident. That's where I was headed all along. Not away from politics, but underneath it. Because once you start seeing the patterns underneath our behavior, you begin recognizing them everywhere. Politics is one of the easiest places to observe human nature. Congress isn't a different species. It's made up of ordinary people doing the same kinds of things the rest of us do. Interrupting each other, becoming defensive when they feel attacked, and sometimes assuming motives they couldn't possibly have known. The difference isn't the people, it's the spotlight. Cameras let us watch those very human moments unfold in public. Those patterns didn't begin in Congress. The cameras simply made them easier to notice. So why spend all this time talking about these things? Because I think deep down, most of us hope we're leaving something better behind. I know I do. I want my children and grandchildren to inherit a world where it's just a little easier to understand each other, to solve problems together, and to live alongside people who see things differently. And the more I've thought about it, the more convinced I've become that healthier politics grows out of healthier people. People who learn to pause before reacting. because they know first reactions aren't always their best reactions, who become curious before becoming certain, who are willing to ask what's actually happening here before deciding who to blame. Because when enough of us begin changing those everyday habits, our families change, our workplaces change, our neighborhoods change, and eventually our politics changes too. So through my window today, maybe politics was never really the destination. Maybe it was simply the doorway, a doorway into understanding ourselves a little better. Because once we learn to recognize the patterns underneath, we stop seeing them as political. We start recognizing them in our families, our friendships, our workplaces, and maybe in ourselves. And that's where real change becomes possible, not because politics suddenly became easy, but because we finally started looking beneath the surface. I'd love to hear from you. What first brought you to American Together? Was it politics, a personal story, psychology, curiosity, or something completely different? And did you end up finding something here that you weren't expecting? This week, notice what first catches your attention. Instead of stopping there, ask yourself, what might be underneath this? You don't have to solve it. Just practice looking one layer deeper. This channel isn't about censoring or forcing people to agree. It's about slowing down long enough to really listen, understand different perspectives, and approach discussions with thoughtful reflection together. I welcome different views, I really do, but respect matters here. If you disagree, explain why. If you see it differently, share your perspective. Here, our differences are strengths, and they're starting points for deeper understanding, not weapons. And if you'd like a little extra help shaping your reply, I've linked my 3 Ps in Action comment edition in the description. It's the same process I use myself to pause, pinpoint truth, and proceed with purposeful forethought. I've spent most of my life teaching, whether I was standing in front of a classroom, helping someone learn a new language, or talking with you here. The goal has always been the same: help people notice something they might not have noticed before. What they do with that is up to them. We don't all have to agree, but I do hope we all have the chance to make our decisions with a little more understanding and a little more intention. If this channel can do that, even a little, then it's doing exactly what I hoped it would do. Thank you for looking through my window today. If you find these reflections valuable, hitting the thumbs up, sharing this with a friend, or subscribing helps bring more people into the conversation. And I'm really glad you're here. Remember, pause, pinpoint truth, proceed with purposeful forethought. Join the conversation. See you next time.